Hi again. My name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller. And today we're going to be doing a video on my storage system. I've had lots and lots of questions about it. I did one, my very first video was about this room and how I'd store stuff. But back then there was 7,000 listings. I'm up to 11,000 now. We've expanded, I've reorganized, I've changed things. So I thought I'd just go ahead and do an updated video. Why don't you come around here?
Heck no. Somebody's got to do this part, but I don't have to do it while I'm on the camera. So if you're liking our content, make sure you hit the thumbs up, leave a comment in the comment section. It makes the YouTube algorithm happy. If you're not liking this content, hit the thumbs down button, but make sure you hit it twice to make sure it sticks.
Robert. So we've got it on a pedestal now. No, a tripod.
Yeah, I realized that, that little stick is actually a tripod. Yeah. I'll quit being a dummy and I'll actually put it down for a minute and I'll only hold it when we're moving around.
Y'all, it's cold over here. So if you see me like this, it's cold in here. Even though we have a mini split heat pump, which I'll show you guys in a second when we walk around. This is my main room. This is where I originally started. When we won that huge high bid estate auction, I decided to go ahead and keep all of that together. And I made an area over there. It was probably 1,000 or 2,000 pieces. I mean, like right here is still some of it. Over here is still some of it. I haven't gotten to all of it yet, but for the most part, but it was a lot of space. So I just decided to set up an area over there. And then I've started putting breakables over there. Days that it's really rainy and I don't want to walk outside with all my stuff, I put stuff over in there. But for the most part, everything is in this building. It's 30 by 50. And then this room is like 20
by 30.
By 30. And that side is
30 by 30.
30 by 30. And that side was supposed to be Robert's, but I've taken it over now. But some of it's his fault because he wanted to get into clothes and he wanted to start doing these big sourcing trips. So I needed the space. So he lost it. We're going to reshuffle it this summer because I'll show you guys why. Let me explain my shelving system. The way I store stuff is like things stay together. You know, there's some people who, when they list stuff, everything they list that day goes into a bin or a tote or however they're going to do it, and they number that tote. I didn't do that. I started out, like when we moved here, I had 1,000 items when we moved here. All the bears were together in totes and boxes. All the dogs and cats, all the baby stuff. And I've just kind of kept that system. It's kind of a fail-safe for me because if for whatever reason something isn't where it's supposed to be and it's a dog, there's only so many baskets that are for the dogs and cats. So I would know to go and look through all of them. So it's just how I started and that's how I've kept it. So like right now, like all of this is baby stuff. And where all of this is just, it has small wild animals, small farm animals. And just like over here is my boxes that have been pre-packed. But then I've started kind of sort of sticking some of the breakables in there. But there's a reason, except for bears. The bears are everywhere because I have so many bears that every time I end up filling up all the baskets and there's no more space, the next available basket ends up being bears. So I've got quite a bit of bear baskets, but like over here's all the dogs and cats. But as I've grown, you know, I have more out there also, but the same strategy. There's certain baskets for rabbits, for monkeys, for dogs and cats, for loveys. You
know what those baskets are. I don't.
He doesn't. But I can always point him in the right direction. But he is officially my new packer. So that started the newest thing that we did out here, which was to itemize every single item that is out here. I'm doing my inventory right now, and as I'm inventorying any item that was listed before the beginning of last year, I'm using I have numbered, printed out labels, and I'm putting that in my custom SKU. So when I'm finally done with my inventory, every item that I have, all 11,000 items I currently have, will have its own individual number. So when Robert comes out here, he'll be able to find the exact item that, barring any key, mistyped stuff, he should be able to find everything and know exactly which lovey in all of these loveys is the one that he needs to be finding.
Because sometimes I would be out here to pull something, and it would be a blue rabbit lovey, a blue lovey with a rabbit head on it, and there's 7 of them in that basket. Mm-hmm. And they're not all together, they're kind of scattered, so I find one and realize, oh, that's actually the wrong one. Now I have to go dig deeper. So being able to look at that number and know this is the exact one I need. And then when I go to ship, I search on the page for that specific number again, instead of just looking for it on the shipping page. That way I can double verify that I actually have the right one.
The right one. So yeah. So let me explain just using this shelf. This is my loveys and baby stuff. This is shelf number 9. Every shelf system in here is numbered. I have number 1 through, I want to say 33. So this is shelf number 9. This is row number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then each basket is alphabetized. So like this basket is shelf 9, the second row, B basket. And that's what I put in my custom SKU for everything that's in here.
And we argue about whether the A should be on the left or the B should be on the left. And I'm stubborn, so I've been going through and putting all the A's on the left because it drives me crazy.
But he didn't do all of them. So then what I end up doing is thinking this over here is like right here. This is A and this is B. But in my brain, it's still the other way, and I put it in the wrong basket. So we've had a little bit of those issues. So
if you'd have done it right the first time, it wouldn't have been a problem.
Yeah, I don't know why I did it the way. To me, these seem wrong. That this should be A and this should be B.
You probably started here and went that way, A, B, A, B, A, B.
Maybe.
I don't know. You're crazy, so.
As long as you go to the right basket, and as long as I write the right basket down.
And that's right, because it's got a number, it's labeled,
yeah.
And I'm looking for item numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in basket 092B. It's in that basket.
It's going to be in there.
Unless we've messed something up, and it happens.
It happens. But, yeah.
But the vast majority of everything is correct, and it can be verified to be the right item.
And now that I'm doing the inventory, I've done almost this whole room. I've got this one shelf to finish, and then the shelves in the back of the room. But, and then I've already done the stuff in my house, and then the last one will be this other side of the building. And I've showed you guys in the last What Sold video, you'll see, in my custom SKU, I have the date code for when I've listed it.
For this month, you would be putting, since it's February of 2024, you would be putting 2402
yep.
in there for year 2024, the month 02. And you have to put the 0 in the front of the 2 so that when you sort these things, they are sorted proper numerically. And it's the first thing in our custom SKU. So when we sort our inventory by custom SKU, it will be listed based on the month that it was listed on eBay. So we know, so you can run a sale. I want to put a sale on my first 1,000 items, the 1,000 oldest items. You can sort by that in eBay and grab them.
Right. And another thing that I've been using it for is like cross-listing. Everything that I listed last month, I need to go ahead and start getting it cross-listed. So I'll pull up custom SKU and I'll sort it by 2401. And then that way I know, what needs to be cross-listed that I listed last month. And then when I'm doing my inventory right now, I'm sorting by the bin numbers. So in my custom SKU, I have 092B. And it's pulling up everything in this basket. And then all I'm doing is dumping it out and looking through the list of everything that should be in that basket. And, putting it back in the basket or assigning it a new number and then putting it back in the basket. And then those things that got either accidentally deleted or eBay has dropped, then I can pull them out and deal with them and get them relisted.
I have to make a nerd point. You are filtering or searching on that bin number, not sorting.
Yeah.
Because you can't sort by the middle thing, but you do the search on it and it pulls up everything in that bin.
Yes. So that's helping tremendously for those of you who want to figure out an inventory system, you know, and be able to pull up. That is key, is assign a number to your tote, box, whatever, a shelf, if that's how you're going to do it, and keep it consistent. You know, figure out your system. Even if you were just going to say, this is shelf number 1, and that is A, B, C, D. Everything that goes on that shelf, you need to make sure you use that same number, and that pulls it up easily for you.
It's not very hard to add it when you have at all, but if you have 7,000 items, it would be hard to go back and re-add that to everything. So if you're planning to make this a real side hustle or even your real business, start with it. Get organized when you start, because we should have been putting labels on these item numbers back when you moved here and had 1,000 items. You would have been done a long time ago. But now that it's 10,000 items you have to do, it's taken many months to get through it all.
Yep. I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, though. Hopefully in the next few months I'm going to get finished. I come over here a couple of times a week and I'll do, you know, a couple of rows. So I'm getting there. I'm happy with the progress and the fact that now I'm being able to find all of the stuff that's not listed anymore, or I find stuff that's like, that's been listed forever and I just need to go ahead and pull it. And that's what I've been doing also. And I have piles.
And having the item number on there, if we decide to hire an employee one of these days, which we've considered, we just don't want to go through the paperwork and the headache yet, then having the item number on there is going to make it very practical to hire somebody. They don't even have to know anything about toys. They just have to go find that item number.
And that number.
So let's take a look down one of them.
All right. Little people. This is like household stuff. This is character toys. This is bears, dolls, Kohl's Cares. So I just have my system and I just keep adding into it. And if y'all, I'm short, so I have learned, so I don't have to drag these around. I have a ladder, a step stool in every single row of these 2 rooms, just so I don't have to keep looking for step ladders and drag them here, there, and everywhere.
She climbs up to find things, and I just grab a basket and pull it down, because for me that's easier than climbing up.
Some of these totes and stuff are really heavy for me, so I feel better climbing up and digging through the totes up there. So like these, they're just huge.
Let's show the heat pump back here.
Yeah. And then here is our mini split heat pump. It's called a Mr. Cool. As you can see, I have it set on 62. We're going to have to do one for the other side of the building now also, probably later this year.
It stays fairly reasonable over there, but it does get colder in the winter and a little warmer in the summer.
Yeah. So that's probably something we'll deal with soon.
We have to make a little confession here.
What?
We had her put the same shirt on, but I don't think she has the same pants on.
Right.
Because this is a different day. We realized we didn't show all that we wanted to show.
It kind of gets hodgepodge a little bit because as I grew, I just kept adding to it. Like this was kind of something I picked up at a yard sale, and I've been putting a lot of my snapback hats in here. Here is where I've been keeping a lot of my games, my CDs, my DVDs, just small things. Some of my homeschool curriculum, because this used to be all I did was these 2 totes for books, but now I have 3, maybe 4 up there. And this was another one of my ideas. We have this shelving system that has this small section in between. So I've been buying bins and some of these totes, and I use that to store a lot of my smalls all the way down the centers.
The metal shelves we have here
Are from Sam's.
They're from Sam's. They used to be 50. They might be 60
I
now.
think they were 60.
But they're really nice shelves. They're kind of a pain to put together, but once you get the hang of it, it's not bad. But they are very efficient for what we do here, and they are cheaper than I can make. You saw some 2x4 shelves earlier. Those used to be cheaper to make, but lumber prices are high enough now. These shelves from Sam are cheaper.
Much cheaper.
And they work just as well.
And we have the plus there, so we get free delivery. And
the FedEx driver usually isn't happy, though.
Yeah, no. And then my newest idea, which I haven't done a whole lot yet, is I've started using the large Walmart boxes to even use even more space. The problem is, unless I have a big ladder like this, I end up having to crawl up, get them down, and then wait for Robert to put them back up for me to get stuff out of them. So that's other than with this one. But I don't have this size ladder in every row, and I don't feel like toting it. I just pulled these. I haven't sold a single one, so I'm probably getting rid of them. That's what this is on the floor. This is what I call my, in my custom SKU, boxed corner. Anything that we've pre-boxed that we're waiting for it to sell, it ends up just getting piled here. The problem is when we want to get into this shelving system, you gotta pull everything out.
Well, you mentioned earlier that we've got a shelf up there of that too.
Yeah.
2 of them.
Yeah. And then I've actually got a little bit over on the other side too. There was a time where these were like $7 at Walmart, but now they're like 12 or 14. So I've been kind of trying to figure out other ways. So, you know, totes that I pick up at the bins or yard sales.
The price increase on those was one of the things that got us thinking about using the large Walmart boxes on the top shelf.
And then using the baskets that were up there to fill in where I needed them, especially in the new area.
Because the Walmart boxes are $2 or something, maybe $3.
Yeah, I think it's like $1.88 maybe.
They're not expensive at all.
All right, and then this aisle is like my hard toys. Well, all of this over here though is wild animals, sea creatures, more bears. And then this is all my hard toys. And it's getting filled up right now, y'all, because I've been going through all of my smalls. And like, here's one day of smalls that I listed. And they're just all piled in there now. So I'm loving it. I'm starting to have, issues with where I'm going to put all the smalls.
So you're clearing space from the death pile, and the basement looks better, but this is starting to get more full.
Yes, very much more full.
That's why I keep telling you, you need to put me in charge of sending and accepting offers.
No, never. Oh, and here's my puppets. Here's just lions, y'all. I have to have it by, what's the word?
Taxonomically correct?
Yeah, maybe. And then this is
taxonomically? I'm not sure how to say that word.
I don't know. And then this is stuff other than this, that as somebody asked in one of my videos, what do I do when something's not selling? When I eventually do an inventory, I've been pulling stuff that I've just decided I don't want to sell any longer. And I've been making piles here, and I'll probably just bag it up and donate it. But that's not very often, y'all. Everything sells on eBay. Everything. I'm just choosing not to wait any longer on these. I've talked about this a lot, like in my live show and just
randomly
throughout recording videos. Everything I process gets put in its own bag. Everything. Once I've got it cleaned, I don't want to have to worry about it. This is a building that's out. It's going to have creepy crawlies at times. So everything, every single thing that I list gets put in a bag, or it gets pre-boxed. And usually it's still in a bag also when it's being pre-boxed. It just makes things easier for us. Robert always tells the story. When we first met, everything was in Walmart bags. But it was 1,000 items. I could tell by the shape or the color that you could kind of sort of see through the bag. what it was.
And this was back when the Walmart bags were dark gray and still thick and not the little micro thin things that you can see through now.
So he took it upon himself after me sending him to look for stuff, because I originally was only in my basement. Everything was out there. And I'd say, can you go find this? And it's going to be over here. And he'd have to go dig for it. So one day he ordered bags and sat and redid all of my bag systems for me. And then over the years, we've gone from me reusing clear bags with the twist tie to I just use these with the suffocation warning, and they seal all by themselves.
Go ahead and show the... We're going to talk about the custom SKU stuff later, but that's what we use for our we don't have a barcode. We used to use those for barcodes for Amazon when we were selling on Amazon, but we're using those. They're just address labels, and you could print, if you got a shipping printer like a Dymo or a Rollo, or we use the Munbin, or one of the ones you can buy from Amazon. Any of those thermal printers will print that kind of label. They work really well. They're relatively cheap for what they provide for us. And so you could use your existing thermal printer if you have one to print that. Yeah.
But I think it's just makes life easier where your thing isn't collecting dust, just to have everything pre-bagged.
And if I'm carrying it back to the basement to do the shipping and I drop it and it falls in a mud puddle, it stays clean.
Yeah. You can just take it and actually take that bag off and replace it before you ship it. Oh, this is bad. This is the other side. Now, like I said, a lot of our personal stuff is like all the way around the edges, but this is incoming stuff that I've not processed. These are clothes that we've not processed. It's not as organized. And I've already told Robert this summer, one of the bad things that we did when we started here was I didn't realize my shelves were too close and the baskets are touching. And if I push on one side, the basket on the other side falls. So we're going to clear out this front area and get these shelves redone this summer, because yeah, it's annoying to accidentally push a whole tote of toys off the other side. A lot of these baskets are the same as over there. I've got my wild animals. I've got my rabbits. It's just when I run out of space over here, I come over here. I'm actually trying not to put new stuff over here right now because this is the next place to inventory. So I'm letting these baskets, stay the way they are, except for pulling when we sell something.
Which will mean fewer things to inventory when you get here.
Yep. But I'd say a lot of this is going to already be pre-numbered because, a lot of this was from last year. So it's hopefully going to go a whole lot faster. And then I've still got tons not listed here. Like a lot of this came from the bins that I haven't gotten to yet.
What is with the fancy shoe storage here?
Oh, yeah. That was my idea. I found this at a yard sale. So this is how I've been storing my most recent shoe acquisitions. I just, again, bag them. And this is shoe rack in my custom SKU because it's the only one I have so far. And this is what I mean when I say it's too tight and the baskets are coming out and I don't like it. And these are the flats I keep telling you guys about. I've got to get them taken over there because look, I've got 3 of them full of, I don't even remember now. So that's soon, death pile, profit pile.
What did you tell me this morning? You listed 2 pair of kids'
bibs.
Kids' bib overalls. You listed
No, not bib overalls, bibs. I've told them before. The Play School or any of the other vintage bibs. Listed them for $50 this morning and sold them. $50. All right, and then just more of the clothes. And then I've been using this space, a lot of it for breakables. Well, and shoes. But this has just kind of been, at some point, the clothes are going to take over a little more space, and I'm going to have to figure out where I'm going to put this stuff.
And back here is the bags of clothes death pile.
Yes. Over here is, well, most of this is clothes. I use these center ones that are small for like breakables and whatever else. But for the most part, all of this is clothes. The other side of the rack is also clothes. And then I've got a few right here also. And with the clothing items, as you can see, like a number on here, we just sequentially number them. They're just going to keep going and going and going. The reason why it's changes, after a while, probably every 5 or 6 months, we come over here and reshuffle the boxes. So what that means is we just start where number 1 was and move stuff and move stuff and move stuff and keep filling the boxes.
Because some of the boxes are starting to get empty and we have a lot of dead space in the boxes.
Yep.
And the last time RJ and I did this, we emptied 45 boxes.
Yeah, that's all these boxes here because we had sold so much that by the time, you know, you get to a certain point, that box, the next box is empty. And so you just pull it down and reshuffle the boxes around. We are going to do this again here very shortly because I'm going to need to do an inventory. I've never inventoried the clothes, so hopefully it's not going to be a major issue.
So what we have here is this box. The first item in this box is $9.43. The first item in that box is $9.73. So anything between those two is going to be in this box. And
Yep.
It's the way they're all numbered that way.
And with the clothing, you know, it can be jeans and shirts and t-shirts and whatever, except we have a couple of baskets that are like for the coats, because if we tried to put a coat in here, it would take the whole box. So we have probably 3 or 4 baskets. That's just our large items. So when something like that sells, then they're still in order. So, you know, if it's an early number, it'll be one of the first baskets. Yeah, clothing is so much easier as far as the storage because everything is just
And finding it too.
and finding it.
The
Yep.
boxes are smaller. There are fewer items and they're in order in the box. So quick and easy.
Yep. When we get ready to do the inventory, it's just one of us will be at the computer and the other person's just going to stand up here and say, I'll say, you know, 7, 10, 12, and we'll just have to make sure everything's in there. Because again, I deleted those 200, so I know I've got clothing in here that's not listed anymore. So we'll have to pull them and get them redone again. Hopefully, most of my clothing items are on Poshmark. So if I find something that's no longer listed on eBay, I can just go back to Poshmark and cross-list it back to eBay. So I don't have to redo anything, which is going to be really nice. I just got to have the time. So clothing is probably next after I finish that room.
The only real problem we've had with our inventory numbering on the clothing is you married a dummy, and sometimes he looks at the custom SKU and pulls item number 2311 because he looked at the date it was listed and not the item number. And
right, because we have you know, you have your date code and then we have all these numbers, and if you're not paying attention, you're going to pull 2311 10 times because, you know, there was a lot of clothing listed in 2311.
but we get it figured out before we ship it.
Yes.
So for a typical custom SKU, it's going to show something like
The month it was listed.
2402 for the month
Yes.
it was listed. And then it's going to have an inventory number, 5 digits long.
Right.
So,
Like my roll here.
and
Going to have one of these.
we made sure that they were all 5 digits. So the earlier ones, they start with a 0. So that, being a nerd, if I want to go sort by inventory number or anything like that, I can download our inventory, strip out the month from the beginning, and then sort by inventory number. I could do
Right.
that through a spreadsheet if I want to. So that's why we've got the 5-digit number. That'll take us up to 100,000.
I will never do 100,000 items. So that's all right.
You've done what? 6,000
I'm
since
at-
we started. So it'll be well after we're retired and dead and gone before we got to 100,000. So we have the 4-digit year and month. We have a space. We have a 5-digit inventory number. And then we have typically
our
a
bin
4-digit code like 092B, which
Right.
tells us which shelf and basket it's in. And then you'll have either like a P or an M or an E to denote that it's cross-listed to Poshmark, Mercari, or Etsy.
Yep. Or all. There might be a PME on it.
You put spaces in between them.
But
though.
I do, yes. So that's how I know You know, like I say this all the time. Everything starts on eBay for me. I then cross-list to the other platforms. I pick and choose. Not everything gets cross-listed to all the other platforms. If something sells on Poshmark, you know, I see a message that says it's sold, then I know to automatically go to eBay, end it on eBay, see where else it has been cross-listed to, then go to that other platform and end it there also. Also, because I've ended it on eBay, then I can go into my unsolds and I know exactly where it is. It's, you know, in this basket. And then, so every day when Robert comes out here to pick, I tell him, okay, I have 3 in the unsolds because 3 things sold on another platform.
We don't use the List Perfectly catalog.
No.
And the reason is that we do the, and by we, I mean you do the end and sell similar on eBay, and you do 3 or 4, sometimes 500 items a day. And that would take way too long to do it through the List Perfectly catalog every day. Now, in the future, they may speed that up and it might be practical.
But for right now, like he said, every day I go in and I end all the items that are about to roll over. And then I just very quickly, I've got a video out there that shows you just exactly how I do end and sell similar. I bulk sell similar everything. And it just, the added steps of having to re-put stuff into the catalog, just at this point wouldn't work for me. And I'm a big proponent of end and sell similar every single month.
Every item before it gets relisted.
Item. Yep. Every day. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it answered your questions. If not, put them down in the comments. If need be, we'll make another video about any of the things. Usually I read the comments anyway, and I talk about them in whatever video I'm about to do anyway, especially if it's a recurring theme. But otherwise, I hope, again, you find this very helpful. Right, get to work. Bye.